Bună ziua. I will speak in English. It's easier for me. I'm very glad that I can be here today and I can share, let's say, my thoughts and our thoughts about the situation and about the future. In the last years in the conferences, I was talking about energy sector as a sector which should be going in the coming period through the significant transformation. So from how we know the energy sector in the past to something which energy sector should be in future, it's going to be something which most likely we cannot even imagine how the energy sector is going to be working in 2050. What we know is that it should be decarbonized. We know it should be and it will be decentralized significantly, and it will require significant investments in digitalization because it will not be in the human capacity to really manage the network to run in the real life. So this is something which is going to be a huge change. On top of this transformation, what came is the unprecedented energy crisis which we are facing now in Europe. And that's something which is triggered by the external factors. So this is something, or factor, actually just one. So we are, as a Europe, we are in the energy conflict, we are in the energy war, and it brought us prices which are not sustainable and they are not acceptable for the end users. It's not acceptable for the economy. So, and it's obvious that some measures needs to be taken, and they need to be taken in the way to protect the economy and to protect the end users, to not to create some social issues, and these things, various European countries are dealing with the situation in different way. What is very important that those measures against the current crisis are really addressed to that crisis. They are short-term, they are addressing the crisis, but they are not leaving some long-term marks, and they are not directing the energy sector in the long term in the, let's say, different and wrong direction. And for that, if I look on this long direction, it's very important to have in mind what are the targets. So we know what is 2050, but we have to as well define for ourselves in Romania where we would like to be in 2040, where we would like to be in 2030, how the energy sector should look like in 2030, what should be the energy mix in energy sector, and what are the steps which we need to take in order to be there. Because if we are talking about 2030, the investments needs to be happening now. We need to be planning for it. So if we are talking and such as we are running distribution company, we are running generation, we have supply business. For us, we are now planning and next regulatory period from the distribution perspective. So this is the time when we should be planning together with the authorities. We should be planning next 5 years, starting 2024 to 2028. So, and that's going to be the period where all these changes, which needs to bring us to 2030 targets, should be happening. So it's really important, despite the current context, despite of the short-term measures we have to take, we should not forget about the long-term targets. Otherwise, it will be really late. What is important for us as an energy company is to be next to customers and to be the one, because customers in future, they will play far more active role in the energy sector. So our role should be the one who is next to customer, who is catalyzing that change for the customer, making it smooth for the customer, making it understandable, because not all the customers would like to really think about how to become prosumers. They don't expect from us to have very complicated procedures. They would like to make it easy. They would like to make it smooth. And that's something which I'm really happy that we are taking this active role. So when we were talking about, or some of the speakers were talking about number of prosumers being implemented in the last years, I'm really happy that big part of those prosumers are implemented, are appearing in Oltenia, which is our region. So I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of getting the feedback from the people which are experiencing that process in various regions, that I'm getting really positive feedbacks that the process in our region is smooth. But that's something which really is thanks to a lot of work and a lot of efforts from the colleagues in distribution company, which really spent last 2 years talking to local authorities, talking to installation companies, explaining the process, making the process really simple, and wherever this is potentially complicated, so being transparent about what needs to be done, so to really make it fast, make it in the short term. What's as well important is investments in system, in the IT infrastructure, because the network of today will not be able to deal with the challenges of the future. So really, it's about a lot of money, which we are using the opportunity of European funds, because that's something which, again, European funds is something which can make this transition acceptable for the end users, because the European money is something which is not becoming part of energy price. So this is something which is purely benefiting the consumers, and those investments are very expensive. So we are talking in last few years, we attracted European funds on the value of 50 million euro only for those systems, which are crucial for the further implementation of the distributed generations of the renewables. We are aiming for additional 250 million from the modernization fund, as well, to be used in the network, to prepare the network for more renewables being connected. And this is how we see our role as an energy distributor. So as someone who in future will distribute significantly less energy, because the consumers will produce their own energy, but we will be there for them. We will be there for them if they need to have some balancing power. So we will be there to have the network which is bringing them that balancing power. And we should be the one who is, let's say, mediating these new future energy systems to be happening. But again, that's something which it's really crucial, despite of current unprecedented situation, to be discussing about it, to be discussing how the legislation should look like and how we have to be heading towards that. Mulțumesc.